Have you ever had one of those days where everything that could go wrong did go wrong? You wake up late, burn your toast, spill coffee on your shirt, then step on a Lego the size of Mount Everest. And just when you think it can't get worse, boom, life throws a snake at you. Literally. Now picture this. You've just survived a brutal shipwreck, clinging to planks of wood like you're in Titanic, except nobody's singing. You finally drag yourself to shore, soaking wet, freezing cold, exhausted beyond belief. You're thinking, at last land, safety, maybe even a nice nap. And then, surprise, a viper latches onto your hand like it's auditioning for Shark Tank. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the wild adventure of the Apostle Paul, and welcome to Bible Breakdown, the channel where we take overlooked, jaw-dropping, sometimes hilarious Bible stories and break them down. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, because today's episode might just convince you that not even snakes, shipwrecks, or bad days can stop God's purpose. Our story comes from Acts 28. Paul, the apostle, the guy who wrote half the New Testament, had already been through a lot. Arrests, check. Beatings, check. Shipwrecks, oh, multiple. Paul's life sometimes looked less like a ministry career and more like a blooper reel. In Acts 27, Paul was on a ship headed to Rome as a prisoner. The ship hit a storm so massive it made the movie Perfect Storm look like a splash pad at the local water park. They fought the sea for days until finally, the ship wrecked. Everyone swam or floated onto the island of Malta. Here's where we pick up the story. Imagine the scene. 276 survivors stumbling onto the beach, coughing up seawater, dragging themselves like zombies. It's raining, it's cold, and everyone's shivering. But hey, good news. The locals of Malta were super kind. They lit a fire to warm everyone. So far, so good. Hospitality, warmth, safety. Paul probably thought, finally a break. Oh, Paul, you thought wrong. Paul, being the helpful guy he is, decides not to sit around, but actually helps gather firewood. Now that's leadership. He's an apostle, but he still picks up sticks. But as he's putting the wood on the fire, suddenly whoosh, out jumps a viper, angry fangs ready, and it sinks its teeth right into Paul's hand. Not a mosquito, not a bee sting, a full-blown venomous viper, hanging there, dangling. Imagine Paul looking down like, really God, a snake, haven't I been through enough? Now the locals of Malta, they see this and immediately go full superstition mode. They're like, aha, this man must be a murderer. He escaped the sea, but justice won't let him live. Watch him swell up and die. Picture them all sitting in a circle, waiting like it's a live episode of Survivor, Apostle Edition. Some probably even had popcorn. But Paul, he doesn't scream, he doesn't panic, he doesn't run. He just casually shakes the snake off into the fire and goes back to roasting marshmallows. Okay, maybe not marshmallows, but you get the point. And here's the kicker, nothing happens. No swelling, no dying, no call 911. Moment. Paul just keeps living. The crowd stares. First, they thought he was cursed. Now they're whispering, this man must be a god. Talk about a reputation upgrade. From murderer to God in 5 minutes. Now pause, this story is hilarious, but also profound. Because here's the message. When God has a purpose for your life, no snake, no storm, no superstition can stop it. Paul still had to get to Rome. He had to preach before Caesar. So the snake couldn't kill him. The storm couldn't drown him. The shipwreck couldn't stop him. Sometimes in life, you'll feel like Paul. You survive one thing, only to get hit by another. You pay the bill, but then your car breaks down. You finally get over the flu, but then your boss calls you into a meeting. You think, God, can I please catch a break? And God says, don't worry, if I said you're going to Rome, nothing, not even a viper, can stop you. So what can we learn from Paul's snake bite? 1. Shake it off. No, I'm not quoting Taylor Swift. I mean spiritually. When life latches onto you, fear, doubt, criticism, even betrayal, don't let it inject poison into your soul. Shake it off into the fire of God's presence. 2. Don't let people's opinions define you. One moment the crowd said Paul was cursed. The next they said he was a god. People will flip on you faster than pancakes on a Saturday morning. Don't live for their labels. Live for God's purpose. 3. God's protection is real. Notice Paul didn't avoid the snake bite. It happened. Sometimes trouble comes, but it won't destroy you because God's hand is on your life. So next time life bites you, whether it's stress, bad news, or someone criticizing you, remember Paul. Don't panic, don't quit. Just shake it off and keep moving forward. Because if God has spoken a destiny over you, no snake, no storm, no shipwreck can take you out before your time. This was Bible Breakdown. If you enjoyed this story, hit that subscribe button for more hilarious, powerful, and inspiring Bible breakdowns. And remember, if God can turn a shipwreck survivor into a snake-proof preacher, He can turn your worst day into part of your testimony.